Hey everyone, this is Matt from Racemaster RC. Today we're doing a gearbox change to Metal Gears and a motor change on the WPL D12 drift build. Alright guys, from last week you would have seen that I removed the motor, gearbox and diff and the ESC from the WPL D12 build that I'm doing. I'll put a description in the links below so you can watch that. But today I'm going to focus on putting in the Metal Gears and the new motor. So I'll start with the gears first. This gear kit came from WPL. I'll put a link for that as well. But it just all comes in a bag and you get all the gears, grub screws, Loctite, grease, and that's about it. So, and the main shaft obviously. So we'll go ahead and install this. So I've got a Phillips head screwdriver, just a little one here. Some tweezers which we'll need later, some scissors for the grease, and the Loctite was also provided by WPL. So firstly what I'll do, I'll go ahead and take the tail shaft off. So that's just a simple Phillips head screw there. It's a bit tight. Alright, so that comes off there, so I'll just put that to the side. Now the little ring I'll put over here as well. Alright, now let's get into it. So undo your first two Phillips head screws. Right, and hold the gearbox cover with your two fingers there as these screws come out. I've lost that completely. There we go. Oh, yep, there it is. So I'll put this to the side as well. Right, so what you do, you hold down the main shaft and you slide that up like that so then you don't lose all your gears. Right, so there are our plastic gears here. Considering I will be replacing this motor as well, all of this will be coming out. If you weren't replacing the motor, you can leave this main gear here, which is straight attached to the standard motor, but I'll be removing that, so I'll go ahead and show you anyway. So first of all, you take out the main shaft, and then you can grab your tweezers, take this gear off, and then this one here. Right, so what I'll be doing, I'll be taking this motor out as well. So I'll undo this screw here and this screw here. Right, take them out. Now this is the factory grease in here as well, which we'll take out. So the best way to get these two shafts come out also, 1 and 2, but you'll be reusing them, so we'll keep them in the middle. It's good to use a white piece of paper so you can see all your little grub screws and so that you don't lose them. So this is the factory motor, which will just push straight out through the center and wiggle out the back. Right, so bit of a detour, but this is the brushless motor that's going to be going in. So it's a brushless 5800 kV 4-pole motor, and I'll also be pairing a new AC with that, but that will be in a later build. So that's your details there. So this was off, I believe, was AliExpress. I'll put a link to that as well in the description below. Right, so I'll make a note that when you grab your car and the motor, you can see that the cables come out of the motor at the top. Now, because this motor is substantially longer than the factory motor, you want to try and make sure that these cables face up out of the way. So when I put it inside the gearbox housing, and you'll see soon, it was going to be very close to the servo. So I'll make sure this has got a series of different holes as well, which is great to hopefully line up into the gearbox. But yeah, this will have this up, otherwise it's going to get caught in there and you're going to have to twist your motor wires all around everywhere. Alright, so I'll go on, I'll put this gear on first. So this is a tolerance fit and this is going to be very tight. Oh yeah, there you go. So there is a tapered end, not sure if you can see that. There's a tapered end and a flat end. So I'm going to go with the tapered end. There we go, oh that went on quite easily. Alright, so that's pretty difficult to get on. I'll measure it up with the other one and see, because the faces and the gear should be the same. So yeah, this is going to have to be a fair way down. So I'll just pop off camera and do that, and then I'll come back to you. So righto guys, I'm back. This is a couple of days later. What a nightmare this was. So basically this motor is very tight in the housing where the other motor was. And you can see that I've managed to get it in the right position. What I've had to do is drill 2 new holes for the mounting of the motor, because the hole spacing is completely different. Now I'm going to throw up a couple of diagrams and show you the differences and the hole spacing, so you can do this yourself. Okay, so now that you can see that these 2 screws are in and the motor's all secure, I'll go ahead and put the gearbox together finally. So what you want to do is grab your, I've sort of pre-assembled these, there's a smaller gear and a bigger gear. I don't know if you can see that in the photo there. Let me put this down. So there's a smaller gear and a bigger gear. So the smaller gear goes on the shaft, and that will go in first. Now, what I've discovered, sort of mocked this up, I don't know if you can see that on the angle there. The gear on the motor has to be far enough back so it's just level with this bottom gear here. Let me show you. So just in here, oops, has to be just level, because when this gear goes on top and locks into that, it can foul on the motor gear. Now to get the motor gear on, I did have to tap it on. I used just like a normal Traxxas T-wrench, I bet this one, but what I did, I sat that on the motor gear and then just gave this end a bit of a tap, just to make sure that that was at the right level. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and pre-assemble the metal shaft with the bigger gear here. And we'll come back and I'll show you how that goes in. So what I found the best way to do with this is to sit the gear, so you've got a flat side here and you've got a screw hole there. So we'll sit that like that. This will be for your tail shaft screw. So what I'll do, I'll sit that in there, and I'll make sure that that sits in a nice sort of spot, so it can't sit all the way, no, you can't sit all the way down. So what I'll do, I'll line up that that smaller part there. I'll grab my Allen key and a grub screw. Now they give you 2 grub screws, I'm not sure why. I'm assuming it's if you lose one. So I'll just put that on there like that. There we go. Right. Now we'll apply a bit of Loctite. The Loctite, like I said, is provided by WPL. So what I'll do, I'll put a touch of that on there. It's very stiff to come out. Alright, so this Loctite is very thick. Righto. You have to cut the end of that off. So I will do that quickly. There you go, that's better. So that's what I say I was coming out. So let's carefully put a bit of Loctite on there. Alright, that should do plenty. I'll just sit this in here for the moment. Right, so that's in there. Like I said, make sure this is on the grooved part. And this is the orientation as well. And if you get stuck with the orientation, just have a look at the old shaft and you'll be able to tell. So what I'll do, that's sort of just loose on there, just sliding on that flat bit. So what I'll do, I'll sit this in here. Make sure all the gears are down, and let's tighten that up. There we go. So that does wobble around a little bit, but I think that should be pretty good meshing. So this does float around a little bit, so I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. The cover's going to hold it all in anyway. So all right, so what we'll do, we'll sit that there for the moment. We'll grab some grease. Cover off. And we'll fill the gearbox up. There we go. So I'll spin the gears around just so it coats all the gears. There we go. That lovely. A little bit more. Alright, that should do it, I reckon. Alright, let's put the cover on. There's a little bit of grease that we'll wipe away later. Press screws back in. Put this back on here. All right, I'll give that a bit of a turn. That turns really well. Take that off for a moment. Fantastic. All right, so that's how you do a gearbox on a WPL D12 drift car. Thanks for watching. I'm going to be doing the basically installing this and seeing if it all fits well, and moving on to the diff probably next week. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys. See ya.